KSL News at noon starts now.
We begin with a developing situation in Lehigh this afternoon where police have responded to an explosion at an apartment complex. It happened around 4 o'clock this morning near 200 South and 13th East. We're told that a man and a woman were inside the apartment where the explosion happened. Both suffered minor injuries. As a result of this, water from the sprinkler system impacted apartments below. 90 families have been evacuated from the building, and the Red Cross is on scene providing assistance to those who have been displaced. News specialist Dan Rascone is on scene gathering details right now. He'll have a live report for us coming up on KSL-5 News at 4. A live look from atop. Welcome back. Looking out for the good today. This afternoon, the East High basketball coach is setting up a nonprofit that he hopes will help students from the Glendale neighborhood succeed in sports. Coach Landon Cummings set up the LEAP Foundation, short for Learn, Earn, and Progress, after seeing students who could not afford proper basketball gear.
Ideally, what we want is for kids to earn good grades, and we'll help pay for extracurricular activities, sports, computer programming classes.
Yeah, if you play extracurricular activities, if you're in those sports, they add up. Cummings is just getting the program started, but he wants to spread statewide beyond and beyond. He's still connecting with those who want to help grow this nonprofit. So if you'd like to get involved, we have his contact information on our website at KSL-TV.com. And the Utah
KSL News at 4 starts now.
Thanks for joining us. We begin with a story we first told you about at noon.
Yeah, a loud explosion at a Lehigh apartment complex forcing the evacuation of dozens of residents. Police now calling this suspicious. News specialist Dan Rascone covering this story for us joins us live right now. Dan, anyone injured in this?
Police are telling us that that couple that was inside of that apartment complex, they are going to be okay. They did suffer some minor injuries, but were not taken to the hospital. Here's what the outside of that apartment complex looks like right now. The blast blowing out several windows, including the sliding glass doors that go out onto the deck. It happened just after 4 o'clock this morning at the Lehigh Tech Apartments just off I-15 and Main Street. Police say right now they are still trying to determine the cause of that explosion. The blast did cause a sprinkler system in the unit to go off, damaging the unit and a few other units nearby. Investigators tell us about 90 families were displaced as a result.
I was asleep, and then you just kind of heard the whole building kind of shaking away, and then all the alarms were just going off.
What the freak is going on? Not how I want to start my morning.
Cleanup crews and gas electric workers have been on scene all day long. The Red Cross has also been helping residents with any needs that they have. Residents are being told that they're not going to be able to be allowed back into the apartments probably until later tonight. Many of them getting hotel vouchers from management here to be able to stay the night elsewhere. But right now it's not clear as to when these apartments may be able to open back up. We'll have much more coming up at 5 o'clock. Mike, Ashley, back to you.
All right, Dan Rascone live tonight. Dan, thank you. We have been covering this story all day long, and we will continue to keep
straight ahead.
A loud explosion at this Lehigh apartment complex injures a couple and leaves dozens of people evacuated.
I'm at Salt Lake City International Airport's brand new concourse B, and coming up, we'll take you through the new additions as well as the older features visitors are experiencing here for the very first time.
KSL Live at 5 starts now.
Good to see you tonight. Dozens of residents evacuated at a Lehigh apartment complex after a large explosion suddenly goes off inside one of the units.
Police calling this one suspicious. News specialist Dan Rascone spoke with renters. He now joins us live. All right, Dan, break this down. What went wrong?
Yeah, Mike and Ashley, right now, police still trying to figure out exactly what did go wrong out here. Earlier this morning here at the Lehigh Tech apartment complex, just off of I-15 and Main Street here in Lehigh. But you can see the power of this blast from the outside of the apartment complex where this all happened. It blew out windows and even the sliding glass doors that go out onto the deck. It happened just after 4 o'clock in the morning. Residents telling us they heard this very loud blast that just woke them up out of a dead sleep. Many of them were evacuated with only the clothes on their back. They're being told that they may not be able to get back into their apartments until later tonight.
I was like, what's going on right now? Because I got me out of bed. I was confused.
Right now, it appears that the explosion was caused because something that did happen or caused from inside the apartment. We do not know at this time what that cause was.
We're told the couple inside that apartment complex where the blast happened are okay with just some minor injuries. They did not have to go to the hospital, and according to the city, they are cooperating with police. The Red Cross has been out here all day long, helping out some of those that have been evacuated with any kind of needs they might have. They are getting hotel vouchers and other things like that. Not sure exactly what time they may be able to get back into that apartment complex, but we'll have much more coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm Dan Rascone in Lehigh, live at 5.
All right, Dan, thank you. Many people in the Lehigh area found out about this explosion through the KSL Plus app. You can... Tonight, an investigation into a strange explosion that led to dozens of families evacuating.
I was asleep, and then you just kind of heard the whole building kind of shaking away, and then all the alarms were just going off.
Plus, hitting the polls early tonight, we spoke with Utahns who are submitting their ballots ahead of Election Day. And it just got easier to get around the Salt Lake International Airport. There's a new tunnel to Concourse B.
The gentleman that checked my baggage, he said you get to go through the new tunnel, and I thought that's exciting.
KSL News at 6 starts now.
A loud explosion rattles residents at a Lehigh apartment complex, injuring a couple and forcing the evacuation of dozens of families. Police calling this blast suspicious.
Happened at the Lehigh Tech Apartments just off of I-15 and Main Street. News specialist Dan Rascone's been there all day long. He joins us live right now. And Dan, do we know what happened out there?
Yeah, Mike, right now police are still telling us that they don't know exactly what went wrong here and what the cause of this explosion was, but it happened just after 4 o'clock in the morning, waking a lot of people up, and the damage can still be seen outside the apartment complex.
I was asleep, and then you just kind of heard the whole building kind of shaking away, and then all the alarms were just going off.
A rude awakening for dozens of people here at the Lehigh Tech apartment complex after an explosion goes off inside this unit.
What the freak is going on?
The force of the explosion blew out windows and the sliding glass doors on the deck. It also causes sprinklers to go off, damaging several units. 90 families were evacuated.
Oh yeah, it's pretty inconvenient. We were up since 4 in the morning.
Right now, police say they are still trying to figure out what caused it.
There was no blast, there was no fire, it was more pressure.
But they are calling it suspicious.
Anytime there's an explosion and you're not sure of the intent of the explosion or exactly where it comes from, that's cause for suspicion.
Red Cross members who have been here helping those evacuated say this is a good reminder to always have an emergency bag of essentials.
It really goes to show that in a moment's notice, we do need to be prepared to be able to grab a go kit and go.
Yeah, some good advice there. You know, in regards to this situation here, most of the people are back in their apartments now, we're being told. And for some of those that were in the lower apartments right underneath where that explosion happened, where the water damaged some of those apartments. Mike and Ashley, back to you.
It's unfortunate what happened there, but glad everyone's okay tonight. Dan, thank you. Well, a man has been arrested in a deadly...